The following presentation is brought to you by kmmedia.pro. Please visit kmmedia.pro for more information. Now stay right where you are as we present. Welcome to Positive Talk Radio, evolving ideas, one conversation at a time. Great guests, dynamic stories and interviews, plus new thoughts on a wide range of topics and concepts. I hope that you'll hang with me, Kevin McDonald, my friends, and of course, you. As together we work to understand why we are all here and what we can do to make our world a better place for all of us. To be happy, be kind, and live in peace together. Yep, that's Positive Talk Radio. Talk Radio, and we are very happy that you are here with us today. By the way, if you want to find out more about us, you can always go to positivetalkradio.net and you can find out all about us and stuff. But today we've got a great guy. As a matter of fact, he's been on the show before, and he was on the show when he was a little bit larger, but he was also had lost 100 pounds at that time. He's a remarkable young man. His name is James Rice. He's got the book out that's called The 100-Pound War, the battle from, gosh, there are 3 X's there.
Yeah.
From 3XL to L, which is your shadow of your former self, young man. Nice to see you again.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It's wonderful to be on the show again. And listen, it's now XXX to small. I'm wearing a small t-shirt today and size 30 pant. I was size 44 when I started this journey. So I've gone to small. I got to change the title of the book.
Yeah, boy, no kidding. So you had to, and I suppose if I don't know, do you like to shop?
But I hated shopping when I was a large because there's basically only one store I could go to that would actually have XXX or even 4XL clothes. So I hated shopping. Now I'm kind of a shopaholic. I love it. Hey, I look good in that now. I could wear that. And people actually talk to me in the store. They don't ignore me because when I'd walk into some of those stores, they would ignore me because we don't have any clothes that fit you, man. So now it's good. It's good. So it feels good to walk in and know that I could actually fit into some of these fashionable clothes. But at the same time, I'm an old guy, not a young guy. I'm 51. So, the fashion doesn't quite always suit me.
You got to knock it off with that old guy stuff. You're 51. You're barely even getting started, my friend.
Because ready for the 60s.
Yeah, well, I turned the big 65.
Wow. Now you promised me, Kevin, last time I was on the show that you were going to lose some weight and head on the diet as well. That you were inspired and going to get involved with weight loss and get going. So how much have you lost since we last talked?
I'm doing the interview here. I am feverishly working on it. The major thing that I'm working on personally is improving my diet, getting better nutrition, raising the amount of protein that I'm able to do without so I'm using supplementation to do that, like protein shakes and that sort of thing, because I don't want to eat a lot, but at the same time they keep telling me that the difference between 50 and 60 and 60 and 70 and then 70 to 80 is huge. And you need to maintain your muscle mass as best you can as you get older, or you're going to hit a certain point and your health is going to start going, really sideways, but between like 70 and 80 and that kind of thing. So I'm working on that, but I've also lost, I've lost about, to be fair, when we talked, I've lost probably 15 pounds.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yes. So from that aspect.
Yeah, you're knowledgeable. You're thinking about it. I mean, that's the key. I mean, that's absolutely the key is think about it and try to find the food that the nutritional food that you enjoy. And protein shakes are great. I mean, when I started the 100-pound war, I was close to 300 pounds, and I was drinking 4 protein shakes a day just to suppress the appetite, and as well, of course, to gain that protein. But it was a lot of appetite suppress. I was hungry all the time, so protein shakes were a great way to suppress that appetite. And while I was eating and finding nutritious food, it was hard to find. That was the first war. What the hell am I going to eat?
We have a listener that is calling me out here.
Yes.
Busted.
Thank you. I wanted to challenge. I was looking forward to seeing a thin Kevin, but 15 pounds is amazing. It's tremendous. It's tremendous.
Well, it's a start anyway. But
yeah,
you know,
well, it's tough to start. It's tough to continue.
Well, in your case, it was really an amazing thing, because losing 100 pounds, now that now that I've got 100 pounds to lose, nearabouts, to get back to my high school football playing weight, it would be right about 100 pounds. And I played at a svelte 178 pounds.
Okay.
So, you know, but which was good for me. But for you, you know, it was tell us a story of when you decided enough was enough. It has to do with a beach in Florida and something like that, right?
Yeah, I was in Miami Beach, and just to quickly read, but I was in Miami Beach. I wanted to buy one of those tacky, Hawaiian shirts that tourists buy, and I went into the store, and I tried an XL that didn't fit, couldn't even get it on. Double XL didn't even fit. Triple XL barely fit. And I was really shocked that I would just progress down. And I don't know why it hit me at that time, but it did. And I bought a t-shirt. It was triple X, because I was so angry at myself. What are you doing? I've never been triple X. What, you've lost control. And I ran out of the store. I left my Boston Red Sox baseball hat and my expensive sunglasses that I had. And I went back to the hotel, and I threw the shirt in, and I said, I'm going to change my life from this day forward. And that's what I did. And so most recently, Kevin, I was saying to you, I started, at 100 pounds. It was hard to continue. And now I don't want to say I'm finished, but I'm down to 100. I got to a competition, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But I entered a competition, my first ever bodybuilding. It's actually body transformation competition. And the hard part was the end, getting to 152 pounds. That's where I ended up at the competition. Can you imagine? Exactly 140 pounds I lost. The last, because I was in at about 172 when I started. So I lost about 20 pounds. And that last 20 pounds, oh my God, it was hellish. It was militaristic. I was in the Army. I thought I was in the Marine Corps. I have never, you probably did this when you were a football player. I've never worked so hard to lose that last 20 pounds. So 100 pounds now, I'm like, oh man, that was a fun ride. This last 20 pounds, it was to get to a competition. I have tremendous respect for those. Those people who are doing it naturally, not the steroid guys and the big bulky, bodybuilders who are taking all the drugs and doing that, but people who are doing it naturally and overcoming a lot of odds, and people with cancer, people with drug addiction, people with alcoholism that have given that up and have focused on their health. This is part of body transformation and lifestyle transformation, and tremendous respect, because there were a lot of jokes out there, how many leaves of lettuce are you eating tonight? It was just like, oh my God, this was like, holy cow, I am like right into this whole competition thing. So, but at the end of it all, I did have a Dairy Queen ice cream after the competition. So it was fun. That was a highlight of my 12 weeks of weight loss. That Dairy Queen ice cream dipped cone.
So let's talk about that competition, because that is, now they have them here, but we're more concerned with, the bodybuilding and the Arnold Schwarzenegger types.
Yeah.
And my son does that sort of thing. And he has to do like he doesn't have a weight problem, never has had. He's got one of those metabolisms that if he were to eat a normal amount, he would lose weight. Yeah. I hate it.
And you look at an Oreo cookie and gain weight, right? Yes.
I do. And my sister's the same way. We have the same body type. And she's got a female parts. Anyway, but it's the same kind of thing. And so he has to eat like 5,000 calories a day
Yeah.
to gain any weight at all, and he's very buff and
Sure.
that kind of stuff. But for
They're young.
us,
They can do it.
yeah, he's young. But when I remember when I was after my football days were over, and I went to the movies in 1976, and there was this movie playing called Rocky, and so I decided that I was going to be a boxer, and
Like
so
everybody else, we all decided that.
yeah, and I went into the gym at 190. He said, if you get into a ring with another 190-pound man, they're going to kill you. So you need to get down to about 160. And so I made it to about 170 before I unceremoniously ended my career,
Yeah.
or it was ended for me.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's a whole nother story.
did you drink the eggs?
No, I thought about it, but no, I just tried to, but I never got into the type of shape that you had to be in too. So
No.
I wasn't that committed to it.
It's
Wasn't that
very, I have tremendous respect for those that can get down there naturally. It's tremendous. So just a bit about the competition. It's run by an organization called IDFA, International Drug-Free Athletics, here in Canada. It's a Canadian organization, and they do have a world invitational competition coming up in October. But they do bodybuilding, all of the bodybuilding, standard competitions that are out there. And when I posted some of my photos and the fact that I won on social media, I was surprised to learn that in the US they hadn't heard of body transformation as a category. And I don't know if it's out there. It may be in some organizations, but some of the research I've done on there, they did a fitness thing, or it may be called something different. But they didn't have a lot of this transformation category where you're taking someone like me who was 300 pounds and transforming their body, or as I mentioned, those with cancer or athletics. One of the women that I competed against, she had cancer. She was a cancer survivor in her 60s and lost the weight and got into shape and beat cancer. And so some of these amazing stories. So I've actually petitioned Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kevin. I've sent him a message and said, Arnold has the World Classic, big bodybuilder, where all of these giant, enormous guys are up there competing. And I've said, Arnold, the true heroes are these people that transform their lives, not through drugs and steroids and artificial, ways, but through natural body transformation. And our stories, my story is my story, and I put it out there, but there are so many amazing stories that literally it makes you cry. And this is one of the motivations. When I started my journey, I was about 4 or 5 months in, and my personal trainer took me to one of the shows, and I listened to their story, and it was just listening to my story. It was like, that's exactly my feeling. That's exactly where I was. I was right where they are, and I saw that they could do it, and it inspired me and motivated me and kept me going to do that. So I entered this competition. It's a national competition, so I won the state or provincial championship for my province, and then I go on to compete against the other winners. And so I competed with somebody from Quebec, somebody from Quebec came in third, somebody from BC came in second, and then I was crowned the national champion. And as I told you, Kevin, I went from the fattest guy in Canada to the thinnest guy in Canada. So that's why I won. So I'm not sure, it's a great reward, but I felt very fulfilled by it at the end of it all, to be recognized for this. And I hope that my story can help others that out there that maybe are struggling and saying, I can't do it. How do I do it? And I hope that you can see I did it, and losing the 100 pounds, like I said, was easy. Losing those last 20 pounds, I don't want to say it was easy. It was very hard. It was a war. And losing those 20 pounds, it was like going, I was a private in the Marines. I was a private in the Army for the 100-pound war. Then I got transferred to like Delta Force to lose those last 20 pounds. I was like, holy cow. I was regimented. I ate chicken and fish and eggs and I never changed. I went to bed at the same time. I woke up at the same time. I worked out 5-6 days a week. And man, it was intense. It was intense. And
Now I gotta ask you, James, because I want to go down this road just a little bit. By the way, congratulations on becoming a national champ of like anything, but
yeah,
being a national champ and saving your life all at the same time was really, really cool.
yeah, it was a nice feeling. And I said to my trainer, I felt very fulfilled by this journey.
But I gotta ask you,
Yeah,
because something that has come across my world of late that I wanted to share with you, and that is, first of all, in your life, were there other instances where you took a real negative and then you had the intestinal fortitude and the brain power and the desire, and you were able to take it to another level? Was writing the book like that? Was your career like that? Was growing up like that? Because some people would say that there's something called grit, that there's, and what we call authentic grit here. And what that is that I believe that you can change who you are to become, and when we talk about grit, we're talking about really going to the next level of becoming a somebody that is really doing something outstanding and sticking to it for a long period of time because they know it's the right thing to do and they're able to do it. You, sir, have what I would call authentic grit. And I want to know, were you born with that, in your opinion? Did you grow up with that? Or did that something that you grew into over time because of your strong desire to make that change? And so you follow what I'm asking?
yeah. No, thank you for the question, and it is a very kind of personal question because my mom just passed away last December, and I remember what she instilled in me. She said, "You got big shoulders. You're going to have a lot of stuff on those shoulders. You got to carry it around because you can handle it. And the good Lord gave you the big shoulders to carry that load, and you can do it." And that was a quote that I always kind of lived by, that there isn't anything that the good Lord's given me, this talent of discipline and fight to get to the other side. And we were not a wealthy family. We had our own personal struggles. My father had 6 hip operations. He was the greatest of all time. They wrote textbooks about him here in Toronto when he was going through for his 5th hip operation, because they'd never seen anybody do that. He struggled through that and got to the other side. So when you see people around you be able to have that intestinal fortitude to struggle and survive and push to the other side and do it in a way that's not complaining. I've never saw him complain about it. I never saw my mom, complain about it. I mean, this is the situation we're in. We deal with it. End of story, and move on. So it definitely came from my family and my parents around me. We've all had these tough situations, and how you look at that situation. You're in a tough situation, whether it's a physical situation, whether it's an emotional situation, whether it's a mental situation. This is your situation, and you got to buck up. You got to deal with it and get to the other side. It may take, in my case, 2.5 years to get to this point. But it's you've got to put yourself out there to do it and handle it and overcome it, because it can be overcome, but it's just a day-to-day battle. And that's why I call it a war. That's why I've always called it a war. It's not a journey. It's not a trek. It's not fun. It was fun getting here. I can tell you, I enjoyed myself a lot, but I enjoyed getting to 300 pounds. But do you want to live or do you want to die? I mean, I was looking at that at 48. I was looking at that very question by the doctors. How do you want to live the rest of your life? Do you want to live it on pills? Do you want to have surgeries on your knees? Do you want to have surgery on your shoulder? Is that the way you want to live the next, maybe even 10 years? I don't know how long it would have lasted. But I saw that fortitude from my parents and inspired me. But I also remember a professor said to me, in terms of writing, because you mentioned it popped into my head, was I asked him one day, do you think I have a talent to be a writer? Because I studied writing in university, and I asked him, and he said, do you think I'm good enough? I see all these other writers in the class, and I think they're really great. And he said, James, you are not the best writer in the class. You're not the worst, but you're not the best. But he said, you are the best at taking your writing and selling it and doing something with it. And that always stuck with me. He said other writers would write something and they think, it's not perfect, it's not good enough, I'll put it in my drawer and forget about it. You took that and whatever you wrote and went out and tried to sell it and tried to put it out into the mainstream of whatever media you want to do. So that also is kind of, I guess, part of my personality as well, is that I wasn't afraid of, I'm not afraid of doing these interviews. I'm not afraid of writing. I'm not afraid to put myself out there. And that motivates me and gets me going because I'm accountable. And that's another thing. You got to be accountable to somebody. I can't be accountable to myself. I've proven that. I got to 300 pounds because I was not accountable to anybody. And the first person I was accountable to was my personal trainer. And he made sure I was accountable every single day, that especially at the beginning. And now, as I've transitioned to where I am, I said I was fulfilled, and I felt like, what am I going to do now? I'm a national champion. I won the championship. I reached my goal. I'm at the peak of that mountain that's, behind you in that picture. I'm there. I've reached it. What do I do? And, I listened to the Tom Brady documentary. It's on Disney called Man in the Arena. And he said the same thing. He said, we were 17-0. And if we had won the Super Bowl with the Giants and ran the perfect season, he says, I don't know what I would have done. I would have, my career would have been over because I reached the pinnacle of my career. I don't need to challenge myself anymore. I've done absolutely a perfect season. But he lost to the Giants, and it made him angry and got him going to continue forward. Yeah. In my case, I've reached that point, and I thought about it because I watched it, and I thought about it, like I'm fulfilled. I feel I've reached my goal. And what has restarted my engine is when I walk into the gym, and now people are looking at me in a different way. They're looking at me for advice. They're looking at me for motivation. They're looking at me for inspiration. So now I've got to be answerable to these people that realize what I've done, and I need to continue my journey to support them. If I give up and quit, they're going to say, well, it's not worth it. James can't do it. If I continue forward, even if I don't do another competition, I can continue showing them that you can. It's just a lifestyle change. This is not, not about winning a competition. It's about winning your own life back. So that's kind of, a real personal journey that I've gone through since winning the competition and trying to understand my feeling of fulfillment, and how do I get back to that, being angry and being embarrassed and, pushing forward. And I want to win the competition. Well, I won. Now what do you do? I don't know.
Oh, sir. May I provide you with another avenue, sir?
Absolutely.
And that is that, and I'm not sure if you're doing this or not, because we haven't talked about it. We may have in the last interview, but I think that you would be awesome as a motivational speaker, talking about your weight loss and what you've done, but more importantly, what you've done with your life because of all of these things, and the intestinal fortitude and the grit that you approach it with. I want to ask you more about grit, because do you think it's teachable, or is it a God-given thing? And if you don't have it, you don't have it. If you're born with it, that's great. But what do you think?
No, it's 100% teachable. I feel, and what holds people back, and I was talking about this just with my son the other day, the other week, is fear. Fear holds you back, and if you can overcome one bit of a fear, then you don't have that fear. It's like walking. When you're a baby, you're afraid to walk. You crawl everywhere. But when you start walking, you overcome that fear. Now you can crawl. It's climbing. When you want to climb up on something, you overcome that fear and you want to climb. It's the same thing. Can I do it? I'm afraid of the pain. I'm afraid of the food. I'm afraid. Once you overcome that and get to the other side, you realize, okay, I can do it. And so now I look back at 100 pounds, and I've said it a couple of times here, and I shouldn't say it as it's being easy. It wasn't easy when I was in that fear mode. but I don't have a fear that I can't do it now. I can do it because I've overcome it. I've done it once, and now I don't have a fear anymore. But I had a fear walking on that stage. I can tell you, Kevin. Prior to that stage, I was feeling confident. The day of the event, the competition, my shirt is off. I'm walking in front of people.
Were you in your underwear?
Wearing my little shorts and
Your underbritches? Were you in your underbritches?
my wife was like, you're so embarrassed up there. And I said, yeah, I just felt really embarrassed. I've never had people look at me like that, in that way. But I overcome that fear. I'm ready to try it again. And I'm going to be at another competition in July. I don't have that same fear. But once I was up on that stage, man, it was fearful.
Well, see, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to become.
This is grit. This is overcoming, and you can call it grit, but it's just overcoming that fear. You get to that other side. Now you're there. You can do it. Whether it's hand gliding, football, whatever fear you have, you gotta try it. You gotta push through. You gotta get to the other side, and then you think, why was I afraid of that? Why? What was the problem?
Well, but even more so, James, have you done any research on what the percentage of people that lose large amounts of weight, what percentage of them gain back at least part, if not all of their weight back?
I haven't done any research, but I know in my research for the book that 95% of people give up kind of in that first 6 to 8 weeks. They tend to give up very, very quickly. And a lot of the reason why people give up weight loss, and I have there's a list in the book of 12, 14 reasons why people give up. But I think one of the big reasons why people give up is that there's a feeling that it's going to happen quickly. And it's not going to happen quickly. It's 2.5 years for me. It was 9 months, 26 days to lose 100 pounds. And when you're very, very large, I lost the first 50 pounds in about 4 months. And that was on a very strict controlled diet. And you think, wow, 50 pounds in 4 months, this is going to be easy. And then after that, you start to struggle because your body, and I learned this in this competition, your body does not want you to starve. It's designed to make sure you are full and satisfied since the beginning of time. That's the way our bodies have been designed. They do not want you to starve. So the fight between your mind and your body is that your mind is saying you need to eat food. Your body's telling you need to eat food. You've got to overcome that and allow your body to eat the fat. You eat the fat that's there. You've got a lot of food in there, guys. You don't need extra food from me. So that's one of the challenges that I've learned as well.
Well, one of the other major challenges for a lot of folks is that, and I've heard this many times, that even when somebody loses weight, they still feel like they're a fat person.
Yeah.
But now they're a fat person in a skinny body.
Yeah.
Because they've got this mental picture of themselves that says, I'm fat, I'm unattractive, and all of these things. Did you seek or did you need any therapy to understand that you now could lead a different life and you were thin and you were going to be that way for the rest of your life?
No, I didn't need any therapy for that, but it's a very interesting perspective that you mentioned, Kevin, because I don't remember being fat, but I do remember the emotion of being fat. I do remember the sadness, the depression, the hiding, the emotional. I don't remember the physical being of me being 300 pounds. I remember the emotional being of 300 pounds.
Now, was
I
that
remember
after
the
the
embarrassment, the anger, the depression, the sadness, all of those feelings I still hold with me. So if this is a therapy session, I would like to know why I still remember that and not the weight. Because they like, do you feel lighter? Do you feel this? No, I don't feel, I feel, I don't feel sad anymore. I don't feel depressed anymore. I don't feel angry anymore. Why? There's smarter people out there maybe that can answer that question.
Well, there's some people that use food for all sorts of different reasons. Comfort food, they don't feel, and then they have that box of Oreo cookies, which in the beginning seemed like a really good idea at the time. And then you finish that, and then you go, now look what I've done. And
Yeah.
so that's where I imagine the heartache and the
It's
negativity come from.
fascinating. It's fascinating because I really don't remember. I look at my pictures and I think, wow, is that me? I don't remember. I don't remember that. But I do remember the emotion. I really remember my feelings back then. It's something that stayed with me throughout this journey.
Well, and you were living every day with that body
Yeah.
and getting up and looking in the mirror. And I'm I'm convinced, because have you ever heard the expression that you never get to look and see what your behind actually looks like?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because we're doing posing practice. Okay.
Oh, good.
So here's a whole lesson. So about a month before the competition, I'm in my bathroom and I'm posing like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I look terrible. I'm like, oh damn, I look awful. This is embarrassing. I can't go on stage like this. So I go to the personal trainer and I said to him, I said, actually my trainer and I had a posing coach. So I went to my coach and I said to him, I can't do this. I'm sorry. This is embarrassing. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not even close to showing off this body. And what do you mean? What do you mean? So he started posing, and he started showing me how to pose. And suddenly I looked jacked. I was like, wow, because he had some tricks. He had some ways to really highlight some of the poses that I'd done. And then I turned around and I started doing my back, which I don't see my back. I don't see my back
No.
at all. I don't know. I have no idea what it looks like. And everybody in the gym went, "Oh my God, what a back. That is tremendous." And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is everybody so excited about my back? So I feel I won the competition because while I lost the weight on the back, when you see my back pictures, when you see the pose of the back, however they've taught me to do it, because I still don't see it. It's the wow factor. So I don't know. I've never seen my backside, but whenever the judges or the competitors see the backside, they are just impressed with the back. So
And
whatever
they'll
I've
know.
done with the back is good. So I like my backside, Kevin. So I have a swagger for the back.
And that as well you should, sir. You've done an extraordinary thing. By the way, we're talking with James Rice, and he's written the book, the 100-pound. Actually, now it's the 140-pound battle or war, the battle from triple X to small. That's I'm
I
modifying
got to
the
come up with the sequel, large to small.
exactly. And I'm curious to know, one of our listeners again, or watchers, or whatever she is, would like to know, what are some of the key topics in your book? What are you what do you focus on?
Sure. In the book, I focus on different battles. So, kind of the top 10 battles that you're going to face as you go through your weight loss. Some of those battles include fighting sugar. So, I was addicted to sugar. How do you beat the sugar cravings? How do you beat the carb cravings? And then what do you eat? How do you can't go from eating pasta and potatoes and steak and to eating sardines and kale. That is not going to happen. So I talk a lot about transitional food to help you to go from food that is high in carb, high in sugar, down to something that's a little bit more palatable and like I said, for protein shakes. I talked a little bit about COVID in weight loss, how to survive life through the pandemic as well, because it came out with that, and if you get locked down or you're in a situation like that. So it's a kind of different battles. Another battle was grief. I did lose my father during the process. So how do you battle through grief? Because you really just, what's the point in life when you lose somebody? You feel like, I can't go on. How do you get over that? And there are some steps there that I help people through exercise, through nutrition, trying to maintain through that really, and it could be a death or it could be just a really high stress. How do you manage that high stress level? So I've got some tips in there, and they're tips that I've lived through. So they may connect with some people. They may not connect. Some people are high carb people. Some people are high sugar people. Some people want to know if I did keto or was I intermittent fasting. And I tried everything. I don't advocate one diet or one weight loss program. I tried weight losses. I tried keto. I did high protein. I did them all. And each month or each battle that I went through was sometimes I'd have to change that up. Yeah, you could do keto. I mean, maybe you can't do keto for 9 months and 26 days. I did keto at the beginning for a couple of months, and it really helped me, helped to discipline my mind. But now I don't do keto. I do 3 straight meals a day, eat nutritious food, and I'm fine. But there's elements in there, and it's a lot of questions that I hope people can ask their personal trainers, that they can ask their dietitians, the nutritionalists. They can say, okay, this guy said in his book, try this. What do you think? Does that work for me? Because what works for me may not work for you, may not work for everybody, but you should have those questions. You should ask those questions. I didn't know what to ask. I just asked stupid questions. And sometimes, those stupid questions led to an understanding of my body and of my mind. And I got those answers for me, and I share those answers in the book. So it's basically the different battles that you're going to go through, and some of my solutions to that, and how we overcame them. And I hope that they'll open up discussions for people with their personal trainers, with their dietitians, with their doctors, and talk about that, because that's a whole other area. As the doctors don't necessarily teach you about all that. I mean, I was pre-diabetic. I was going to be on the pills. I had high blood pressure. I was going to be on the pills. The doctors never told me, you can do this through food and through, medicine. You don't need medicine. You can do it through food and exercise and taking care of your body and supplementation with the right supplements. They didn't tell me that. They were ready to sell me the pharmaceuticals and get me on the drugs. And, here I am feeling much better without having to go through all that.
I don't want to sound cynical, but nobody makes any money if you just eat better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so that's but a couple things. First of all, I wanted to ask you, because I, in my entire life, have never said to myself, gee whiz, I think I'm going to go have some sardines. Never crossed my mind, not once.
Exactly.
And the other thing is, explain the keto diet for us, so that I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. What is it?
Well, it's more or less intermittent fasting is one element of it. So you are trying to eat at certain periods of the day, which is around noon and lunchtime, and trying to have a fast that goes 14 to 16 hours. And then keeping your carbs as low as possible, under 50 grams of carbs, and of course, eliminating sugar. I mean, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. So that basically you're feeding from your fat within your body and eating very healthy, nutritious vegetables and foods that help you. So the big thing for me was the discipline of when to eat, and trying to stop eating the nighttime snacking, which is a big problem. And so I'd stop eating at 6 and try to make it all the way through to 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. In my case, I tried to get to 10 a.m. before I would have some food in there. You could have a drink of coffee or a water or something when you get up in the morning, but try to get to 10 a.m. So that was my routine originally. That was more of a discipline of the mind in timing of your eating. And as I got that under control, I was able to lower the carbs, lower the sugar, and as I said, do that transitional food, because I couldn't get right under all of that quickly. It took a bit of time for me to scaffold down, and I recommend that to people, as opposed to doing something hardcore immediately for a week or two, doing the keto diet, and I'm going to go on low carb. Your body is just not going to take it. It's very, very challenging. So you need to scaffold down and find the nutritious food that you like. And one example would be nuts, which are high in fat. So this is another part of keto, trying to find food that's high in good fats, not bad fats, but the good fats. And some of the nuts that you can choose are almonds, pistachios, cashews, pecans, walnuts. So I tried them all. I love cashews, but they make me bloated and I don't feel good. And so I've stuck with pistachios, which are high in fat, superfood, very good nutritional content. And they've stuck with me for 2.5 years. I feel great when I eat them. And that's just one of those foods that I tried. I tried them all, tried all five. I do like almonds, but they also have a lot of high calorie there. But pistachios are ones that I actually gave up for the competition, Kevin. I had to give up the pistachios because they were too high in fat. So when you're in that competition mode, you got to give up some of that fat. You really got to cut the carbs, really cut the sugar. And so I had to give up dairy, and I had to give up my pistachios, and I really miss them the most.
It is pretty amazing the things that you've accomplished, and the do you consider yourself to be unique?
No, no, I consider myself to be lucky and very fortunate that I've been able to go through this journey and this war and win it in some mission accomplished. I guess was the way I felt after winning the championship. Was mission accomplished. So I feel very fortunate, very lucky, and relieved that we've got here. But the other stat that I've read, Kevin, is that it takes 5 years of this body transformation to really change. And so I'm only 2.5 years into it. So there's still the risk of me going backwards and having a slide backwards. And certainly I felt that after I won the championship, that I really wanted to eat some bad food.
I wanted to ask you, is that a concern of yours? Because
Absolutely.
You've got this book out there that says you lost 100 pounds. Now you've got, let's be honest, you got 40 pounds to play with here. So you could, you could pick up a little bit, but
I could pick up some. So it is a worry. It is a concern. And that's where I felt that like, what am I going to do? And that's how am I going to keep myself motivated? Because a lot of my motivation was anger and embarrassment. Those were two strong motivators for me. I was angry at myself. I was embarrassed at myself. I was sometimes angry at other people, and that kept me motivated. But now I don't feel that anymore. So how do I keep going? So that is definitely one of my concerns, is the backsliding, and how do I keep away from that? And one technique that I've learned is the cheat meal. And everybody asks me about the cheat meal. I don't have a cheat meal anymore, but I eat more healthy food. So what I've done is I've increased the pistachios. If I'm feeling I need more pistachios, I need an extra protein shake, and that makes me feel really great. And so that is my cheat meal now, is I eat more healthy food rather than going off my diet, having some pasta or having some rice or something like that. I just eat more beef. I eat more chicken. I eat more of what I know is healthy food and what I like, that healthy food that I really, really like, that may be a little high in fat content, that may be a little high in calories, like almonds or pistachios, but ultimately they're good, nutritious food. So why not eat that?
well, because it's not nearly as good as pizza. As it is.
I had a pizza. So I had the pizza and I had the ice cream. Those two things I had after the competition. And I tell you, I felt so terrible for 2 or 3 days. It was just like this ball of goo inside me.
Well, it's like,
the ice cream did felt the ice cream. It was like cocaine. It was like a shot of cocaine. I've never had cocaine, but I can imagine what it felt like shooting up through my brain and all through my body. It was like, whoa, what is going on? Because I just haven't had that much of a sugar rush for so long. It was wild.
It actually is.
I was like a ball. I was bouncing off the wall. I had great energy all night.
It actually is very similar to cocaine.
Very fun.
In a lesser way. Not that I would personally know, but this is what I've been told.
Well, certainly the brain reacts to it in the same way. Yes. In a similar anyways. Yeah. It
exactly. So you're going to do this competition again. And you're going to start.
Well, I committed to it because I didn't think I was ever going to win. I didn't think I was going to win. Damn. If I had known I was going to win, I wouldn't have done the next competition. But I'll do it again.
Well, but you're the champ, and the champ has to repeat.
That's right. Now I got to stand up there and say that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to do it again, and you've got another book. There's got to be another book in you someplace, and a motivational speaking. You can really help people and lose, feel good about themselves and understand that there's a whole psychology to it that is more than. And you used anger as a motivational tool,
Yeah.
and it worked for you. But there are other motivational tools that other people can utilize, and you can help them with that to find something that's good for them that they really will touch bases and will believe in and do what you've done.
And
But
what is a good motivator right now is a good playlist. I put on my earbuds. I've got a great playlist. When I'm in the gym, I am in an hour by myself in almost like a Zen Buddhist kind of meditation thing. Nobody bothers me. Nobody talks to me, and they know that. And it's really a fun place to be. I've never been in that really clear, mind body connection that you've got going on. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I've never been one of those guys that supported meditation, that goes out and does meditation. I shouldn't say I don't support it. I mean, if you do it, you love it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but I've never gotten into it. But now I feel it's really part of my workout routine, where I'm in this meditation zone where there's nothing that enters in, no negativity, nothing comes into my brain. It's just me and the weights and the gym and the program. And when I come out of it, it's like I'm totally refreshed. So this is another motivation technique that you learn and you get to as well.
exactly, and you were meditating a lot longer than you thought. By the way, what is your the playlist? What kind of music do you like?
It changes often, but what have I got on right now? I got Celine Dion on. They tease me at the gym on that one. And I do have The Rock's Face Off as well on there.
Oh, now do you have her song that she did for Titanic on
No,
there?
not that one. I have that. It's called Alive. I think it's from Stuart Little.
Oh, okay.
I feel alive. I don't know why, but they tease me a lot in the gym for my Celine Dion selection. What are you listening to?
Well,
But
now,
I balance that with The Rock.
that?
I have The Rock because I am the baby Rock. I don't know if you remember, but if Mark Wahlberg and The Rock had a baby, I would be the child.
If those two men had a baby, they would be a whole lot different than you are tonight. I can only say that. By the way, James Rice is our guest. James, if there's I know they can pick up the book at Amazon, all the major booksellers, all the folks online. Is there a website that you'd like to reference?
Sure, it's www.the very important grammar, the 100-pound war 100poundwar.com. And incidentally, it is available on all of those as a book. But one of the cool ways that we've put together a book is on Apple iBooks, and there's multimedia in there. So there's video of me. There's interactive elements in there, so you can see some of the progression and audio. So it's a little more interactive. It's really a really cool book if you have an Apple device that you can download through that. And in addition, I just want to extend to all of your listeners and watchers out there, Kevin, if you're coming to Toronto, Canada, look me up, shoot me a message. I would love to work out with you. I'd love to bring you to the gym, do a body analysis, show you what the program is. If you're passing through, you're flying into Toronto, shoot us a message. You can shoot us through the website, or I'm on Instagram it's at 100-pound war 100pound war. Shoot us a message. I'd love to work out with you and talk to you a little bit about how we can help you, get on a path. So that extends to you, Kevin. That extends to your listeners if you're in Toronto.
Next time I'm in Toronto, I promise I will look you up. Of course.
All right. You promised to lose more weight as well. So
just running to Toronto, I'll lose weight. But the first thing I have to do is get a passport. That's true. Yeah.
Make sure you got your vaccines, because you got to have your vaccine in Canada. Oh
yeah. Well, that's good. So you're fully vaccinated and all that kind of stuff. that's a story for another time. We'll leave that alone. So James, I'm would like to give you the opportunity to, because our listeners care about you. You're a really good guy. You got a great smile, you got great energy, and they are really pleased for you that you're doing all of this. And they would like to hear a message from you that just from your heart, that they can listen to now or later.
Well, thank you, Kevin. And I would like to say to the people out there, if you are struggling with weight loss, with emotional issues, grief issues, whatever your personal struggle is, there is always tomorrow. There is always a better day tomorrow. It doesn't last. I've been through the worst of the worst. I've been in low of the low, and you just got to fight your way through. It's a daily battle. It is a war, but you have to win each battle and step up to that, step up to the plate and win the war. It is possible. It is not, nothing is impossible to do. I am an example of that. I was 300 pounds, pre-diabetic, high blood pressure, knee operations, shoulder operations, doctors all putting me down. DNA, this is your genetics, this is your life, this is who you are, you're always going to be big. These are the words from professionals that I heard. Nobody told me that I could do it and change, except one or two people that were very close to me who supported me and said, let's go for it. And I went for it every single day. Have a plan, have a battle, have a goal. You will lose some days. You're not going to win every battle. Okay. It's not a fun journey. You're not going to win sometimes. You are going to lose. That's okay. All right. Just get back up and get moving forward, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can do it. And if I can show you what I've done, and you can see what the weight loss I've done and the progression I've done and the healthy feeling that I've done. And I hope just with these words, and my experience, that we can move forward together. And I'm always out there. I've answered a lot of questions from people through social media. You know, how do you do it? How can I do it? It's one day at a time. It is a battle. It's a cliche, I know, but it is a battle, one day, and win that day. And my new expression right now, Kevin, is win the weekend, because that's always a tough one.
That is.
When you're losing weight, win the weekend. And my shirt is, I don't know if you can see it, but it says beat yesterday. All right. So let's try to be better than we were yesterday. Every single day. That's the philosophy that I go with. Try to be better than I was yesterday.
That is really awesome. By the way, there was one other added benefit to you losing weight. And that was, I believe there's a small child in the back.
Oh yeah, there is unintended consequences, gentlemen out there. You will get more energy, and I'm 51, and I have a 20-month toddler behind me due to my weight loss and the energy. So he is my new motivation and keeps me going.
That's the next book you're going to write. Lose 100 pounds, and maybe you'll get lucky.
Yeah, I've had those conversations. I've had those conversations with men. Yeah. You know,
of that I have no doubt. Everybody wants to know how you're doing it, and then all of a sudden you got your youth back, as it were.
Yeah. There is the testosterone comes back. So just be warned. You have been warned, gentlemen and ladies. Watch out for your husbands.
Warn your significant other that there could be trouble on the horizon.
Maybe, yes.
Yes, indeed. By the way, we've been talking with James Rice. Go to his website, which is the 100poundwar.com, and get his book. Buy it from his website. That would be even better. I think he makes a little bit more money that way, and that would be great. James, we've had you on before, but you're so enchanting. It would be fun to have you on again. You're doing this next competition in July?
Yeah, July. That's correct. July 16th. Yeah.
After will you email me back, and so we can have you back on and let you know if you defended your championship or not?
Sure. Absolutely. Well, I don't know if the championship's up. It's just more of a fun one. It's the championship be next year, but
I don't think
I get to enter that, but I do get to enter in the over 50 competition. So that's the bodybuilding one. So that's an official kind of bodybuilding one. And so, that'll be a new experience, not a transformation, but actually, kind of posing with all those bodybuilder type guys.
How does it feel being where you are and being who you are, knowing that there is some guy sweating in a gym somewhere in Canada that's saying, I'm going to beat that James Rice. I am going to beat him this time. He's not going to win. I'm going to win that title.
Then I say this, I'm going to slap on my VHS of Rocky 3. I'll be ready for you. After I lose, I will come back and win again. So
exactly. And and then there'll be James 4 and there'll be James 5.
And then I'll take on the Russians and we'll do it all.
And you're going to have 7 kids in the next 5 years. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But James, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure.
It's fun, Kevin. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
And we'll see you next time. And hold on right there, James, and I'll be right back. Hey, thanks for enjoying this episode all the way to the end. Please give us a like and subscribe to this channel. This has been a production of PositiveTalkRadio.net. Please visit our website, oddly named PositiveTalkRadio.net, for more details about us and our mission, which is to provide great positive programming designed to inspire us all. I'm Kevin McDonald, and I'm proud of these shows, and I truly hope that you'll like them and share them with friends and family. So on behalf of our entire team, remember, be kind to one another because each other